You read that video title right.
You're fulfilling your destiny.
For this theory, I'm going to be talking about Force trees, Rey, Snoke, and the very first Force users. To talk about this theory, let's start all the way at the beginning. So we know the Force has always been around and connects all living things in the galaxy.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
The concept of the Force, even though it's gone by many different names, has been around for about 25,000 years in the Star Wars universe. And we know the Force can be used by those that are sensitive to it. The first time we encounter the Force-sensitive tree is in the television series, The Clone Wars. This tree grew at the heart of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, where it was said to have existed during the time of the Jedi Order, and younglings were trained next to it. When Palpatine became the Emperor and purged the Jedi, he took control of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and removed the tree. Only 2 living twigs of the tree were allowed to be stored. After the Emperor was killed, we see the tree again in Shattered Empire when Poe's mom and Luke go on a mission to retrieve the Force-sensitive tree branches. Luke allows Poe's mother to keep one branch and she plants it near her home. Luke takes the other. So how does this tree tie into individuals using the Force, the first Force users, Rey and Snoke? Well, there's speculation that a Force tree was what first introduced sentient beings to the Force. Specifically, there's a leak for The Last Jedi that states that Luke shows Rey through a Force vision the origins of the Force. They see 2 children playing near a tree on an alien planet. The boy noticed that he had greater strength and intuition when he was closer to this tree. The girl noticed that the tree also made her brother increasingly angry. One day an argument breaks out between the children and the boy kills the girl. The boy touches the tree and is transformed. He kills his parents and leaves the planet. Meanwhile, the girl is revealed to be alive, transformed by the tree as well, using her power to start the first Jedi Order. The girl that was seemingly killed but not really told her followers that after her death, she would be reincarnated as a boy or a girl in a millennia. So what if this boy and girl were actually the chosen one? There was 2 of them, one for the light side and one for the dark side. What if the boy is Snoke and the girl is actually Rey, who has finally been reincarnated? We know the individuals that became the Sith were once considered brothers to the Jedi before the split. This boy in the story may have went on to start one faction of Force users. Probably the ones that eventually had members split off and become the Sith were part of his faction originally. Which would make sense as Snoke isn't a Sith. But that doesn't mean after leaving the planet and starting his own faction of Force users, he didn't train individuals that one day led to the creation of the Sith. The 2 factions, one created by the boy and one created by the girl, could have left each other alone for some time. Eventually some members disagreed with the Jedi, and the Sith were created. We know Snoke is incredibly old. He's at least old enough to see the rise of the Empire and the fall of it. So why did he wait so long to make his move? What was he waiting for? Maybe possibly for this girl to be reincarnated. Specifically, reincarnated as Rey. He feels it when she comes back. It makes him work even harder to turn Kylo in attempts to find his sister before she can become aware of who she is. Snoke would also want to destroy Luke, his followers, and his teachings to make sure she never learned the truth. Under that assumption, Snoke would have been perfectly happy to watch Palpatine destroy the Jedi, as they could also help his reincarnated sister. Luke discovering the origins of the Force, or how people learn to use it, seems highly probable. Luke spent a long time discovering temples, artifacts, and teaching of the Force and Jedi. Being the last Jedi, Luke was thirsty for all the knowledge he could acquire to help himself and restart the Order. Disney has claimed that Luke is one of the strongest Force users to ever live. So if anyone's going to discover the origin of Force users, it's going to be Luke. And Luke discovering this origin is probably what made him a huge enemy of Snoke, among other things as well, and made Snoke decide, yeah, the First Order needs to go after him and end him. This would also explain why Rey was left on Jakku to be looked after. If Luke or others believed she was the reincarnated girl, and Luke's nephew turned to the dark side or started working with the dark side chosen one, she could be in danger of being taken, killed, or manipulated. To preserve the light side, she needed to be taken away and make it appear as if she was just some girl living on a desert planet. That would also mean no heavy guards around her or Luke or anyone else checking up on her. They needed her to appear normal or not special. This is why Snoke is freaked out in The Force Awakens when Kylo talks about an untrained girl overpowering the grandson of Darth Vader and nephew of Luke Skywalker. Kylo should have been vastly more powerful than her. Snoke is aware that the other chosen one is out there and wants her taken or killed. Having Kylo deliver this seemingly unimportant girl to him instead of just outright killing her is his fears that she is actually the reincarnated sister. He needs to confirm Rey is not her. So there's a lot of questions. What if there are two chosen ones? One for the light side and one for the dark side? Why does Snoke want the reincarnated girl? Has he discovered some ritual to take her power? Or use her for some darker means? Maybe she only had one rebirth and there was a prophecy that she would end her brother. Maybe he needs to stop that from happening.
Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars videos.